All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Denver Broncos. They finished their preseason with a complete and utter domination over the Los Angeles Rams, 41-0. And I don't care what anybody has to say. It's the preseason. It's the preseason. I don't give a damn. The difference from last year's preseason Denver Broncos to this year's Denver Broncos, specifically that last game against the Rams, it's night and day. The creativity with Sean Payton in this offense, it truly is night and day. And as we know, and as we've been saying all offseason, which the NFL media and NFL fans just couldn't seem to grasp, the Denver Broncos will be just fine. And we're going to talk about some things that make the Denver Broncos a truly potential lethal team for this upcoming season in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Broncos fans, I've only made 4 or 5 videos on you guys, and you guys have absolutely blessed it. I appreciate you guys so much. If we could try and get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So this is momentum. This is momentum at its finest. Once again, I don't give a damn that it's preseason. Could you imagine if you lost 41-0? Could you imagine if the Broncos had lost 41-0 and then try and tell me that a preseason outcome doesn't at least mean a little bit? It doesn't mean anything in the sense of it doesn't count for the record books, but it's one of those moments. I agree with Mike Tomlin, where it's like, if you want a box, you kind of got a box, right? So great way to finish off the preseason for this Denver Broncos team. And something we've been harping on all summer is Sean Payton led teams, especially, it takes time. Watch out for the Denver Broncos in the month of November and December. That is when historically Sean Payton turns it up a notch. I think the Denver Broncos will be a slightly above average team in the first half of this upcoming season. And then second half is where they really make some noise. One way they're going to make a bunch of noise is the receiving game. I know the Jerry Jeudy hamstring injury is extremely unfortunate. I know the Tim Patrick injury was also extremely unfortunate. Jerry Jeudy will be healthy, and he will be healthy at some point rather than no point. The point is, he truly kind of took that huge step forward in 2022. He had 67 catches, 972 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And for Jerry Jeudy, considering the way the Broncos offense was this past season, that's big. This was Jerry's 3rd season in the National Football League. And I think with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, year 2 at Denver, year 2 at Jerry Jeudy, I think this is the year where he takes that next level. He's basically a rising star in the National Football League when he's healthy. In all 3 years of his career, we've seen him put up numbers. We've seen it, but if he plays all 17 games, or if he plays over 15 games for the Denver Broncos this upcoming season, I would watch out, because it's not going to be just him. You also have 2 players, Marvin Mims Jr., which we'll talk about in a second, and Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton's really interesting because he is, he's 27 years old, but he's been with Denver for 5 seasons, and he's been through a whole bunch of different Denver Broncos squads. At the end of the day, this is a super solid, reliable wide receiver too. 64 catches, 829 yards this past season for the Denver Broncos. And the point I'm trying to make here is this. So I have Russell Wilson entering year 2. My running back room is money. Javonte Williams, he is licking his chops. He's got a chip on his shoulder right now after being sidelined for basically all of this past 2022 regular season. Then they've also brought in Samaje Perine. So they have 2 running backs who can catch, they can run, and they can block. So their running back room is loaded. You have Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, who are going to get you around 2,000 receiving yards combined, just those 2 guys alone. And then we bring in Marvin Mims Jr. And the reason I want to talk about Marvin is not only because he was selected in the 2nd round of this past year's draft class. So they know that Marvin has something in store. And if you check his tape at Oklahoma, which, by the way, Oklahoma wide receivers have a really nice track record in the NFL, Marvin's 2022 season at Oklahoma was unbelievable. But his whole college career was pretty crazy. He averaged 19.5 yards per reception in his 3 years combined at Oklahoma. This past year in 2022, he caught 54 balls for almost 1,100 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. He averaged 20.1 yards per catch. And the reason I bring that up is because if you watched the game the other night against the Rams, Marvin almost had a touchdown. I mean, Jarrett hit him beautifully. He finished the day with 2 catches, 51 yards. I'm talking about the 50-yard catch. That was almost a touchdown there. In fact, I don't really have clear-cut evidence that he was touched, but that's neither here nor there. Marvin Mims Jr., don't forget about this guy. Broncos fans certainly are going to forget about this guy, but when you're playing Denver, don't forget about this speedster. He could be the future with Jerry Jeudy. I mean, him and Jerry Jeudy, they could be a long-term. I'm getting kind of like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins vibes if everything goes as planned. Now, Marvin Mims, it's his rookie season, so he's not going to, 1,500 receiving yards and 20 touchdowns. We're going to keep our expectations in check. I think Marvin will have somewhere between 700 and 900 receiving yards this upcoming season and 5+ touchdowns. That's going to go a very long way because we know Sean Payton, he's an offensive genius. He's an offensive mastermind. So that only helps Russell Wilson because Marvin Mims is a guy you can go jet sweeps, you can go wide receiver screens, you can send him to the touchdown or to the end zone. You can do a whole bunch of different things with this speedster, and he already joins Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and Greg Dulcich, who's entering year 2. The 10 or so games we saw of Greg this past season in his rookie year, the former 3rd-round pick, I think he did really good. I mean, he had some really good games. This was the 3rd-round draft pick in 2022 out of UCLA, but he had some really nice games, finished it off 4 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown against the Rams this past season, but he dealt with some injuries, right? So he only played, he didn't play a whole season. He only played 10 games. So offensively, I really like the threats that Russell Wilson has. Defensively, we've talked about it all summer. There's no flaws. There's no concerns at any point on the defensive side. One thing I really liked was their 3rd-round draft pick. He got an interception last night, Drew Sanders. Or sorry, not an interception. He caught here. What was it? Forced fumble or fumble recovery? Of course, I'm botching that. Believe he had a forced fumble. So watch out for Drew Sanders at the linebacker position. He is the 3rd-round rookie out of Arkansas. Denver didn't have a crazy amount of draft capital this past year, but they made it work. I think they did a great job. Marvin Mims, Drew Sanders, Riley Moss were their first 3 picks. All 3 of those rookies will have some type of impact in their rookie season for Denver. So their defense is only getting better, and their offense, the clear addition of Sean Payton in and of itself is a huge ass deal. But I really think Marvin Mims and Jerry Jeudy, once he's healthy, because those hamstring injuries, I don't want to rush him back. I don't care. Things could start poorly if Jerry's not out there, right? And we could see a bigger share for Marvin Mims right out of the gate in his rookie season. But the point stands is with hamstring injuries, especially just Jerry, when he's fully healthy, bring him back. As unideal as it could be, even if he has to miss a couple of weeks, I know it sucks, but you don't want the hamstring to bug him for the entire season because that would be a huge and complete setback. So that's it for tonight, man. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Broncos fans, I love you guys so much. Seriously, I appreciate you so much. You are changing this channel, man. I love making content on this team. I can't wait to cover it for this upcoming regular season. So let's try and get 500 likes. But guys, more importantly, how do you feel about the Denver Broncos heading into the regular season? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next.